Hello, 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 everybody. It is Matt, and it is Sinful Sunday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. I give you your brief synopsis, your starring cast, your director, your runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for a trailer for today, a link for where you can watch the movie for today's for free. And if you decide, you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of dollars. So with all that said, mine and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's came out back in 2020. It runs at about an hour and 50 minutes. It is none other than David J. Espinosa's The Crumbs. What an interesting film from beginning to end. It is by far the bloodiest out of the three films of David's that I've seen so far. It is very amped up in that aspect, but it is still more dependent on a very strong story, which is a running thing with David's films. Excuse me. That is one thing that I love about David's films, is he is not about the gimmicks. He is more about a strong story with better performances than trying to just phone in with silly gimmicks. So I really appreciate that out of his films. And now on to what is this one about? Well, The Crumbs is about a family that has been living in the area for a long time. They run a bed and breakfast, and it is done by reservation only. And so it starts off with these very just interesting images of Adolf Hitler, to a man in a Klansman outfit, to a scene of desperation of a poor child holding a sign that says, "Please give my father a job," to the Twin Towers, and even on to spectacular things such as the moon landing. It is very interesting to start off your film to go in such a direction. And so you're met with your first couple coming into the bed and breakfast run by the Crumbs, which is a father, a wife, and the daughter. And they have a helper, or a ranch hand, or whatever you want to call him, a bellhop, by the name of Lenny or Leonard, who is a giant behemoth of a man, and I would not want to cross him and make him upset with me. He is that big of a guy. Now, I'm sorry, I started that a little wrong with a guest showing up that were supposed to be there. It starts off with a group of guests that are not supposed to be there, and they break in, and they are going in to rape Victoria, the daughter of the doctor, Dr. Benjamin Crumb. Victoria is quickly saved by Leonard. He chokes and slams the guy against the wall and gets rid of him in a quick fashion. Goes after the other captors in the house and gets rid of them. It is actually quite an interesting scene to start off as well. It eventually moves on to your first people that are supposed to be there, the first reservations. And so what is going on with this doctor is he is doing these wild experiments where he is extracting basically the essence of the liquid from people's pituitary glands, and he is injecting it along with blood, and also cannibalizing these people after he has drained them of everything that he needs, to create a serum in so to speak, to keep themselves young, or at least keep themselves from not aging, getting sick, or getting any kind of cancers or anything of that nature. It's a very interesting idea. You were met with very interesting kills throughout this entire film, along with some wild bombshells as far as spoilers go. You find out things that are about the husband and wife, the mother and father, about them, and then how the father, Dr. Benjamin, is now lusting after his own daughter, Victoria. He wants nothing to do with anybody else having any kind of courtship with her, because Leonard has grown quite fond of her. And Victoria, who is a hemophiliac born with a club foot, has grown quite fond of Leonard as well. And now on this tragic note, she is told that she is dying and her kidneys are failing, and she has a few weeks or a couple of months at most, at best. She then is kind of stuck in a sort of limbo of do I do good or do I do bad at this point, because the doctor is very vicious in his ways at times. He kills people without any compassion, no matter what their age are. Not to really give away too many spoilers, but he does have one victim in particular that I thought was quite not really gruesome, but very cold and callous. He goes after a young child. Excuse me. and basically does him in a very cold, very just rough way, and it really sets a whole different tone for the doctor. He's already kind of one of those characters that he's not a good guy, but you add in this part and it really gives you an extra punch to the gut that he is no longer a man of reasoning. He is a complete madman. He is killing people for no apparent reason, because that death in particular could have been avoided and was completely unnecessary, because it did not serve the purpose of his greater good towards finding this magical serum to keep them young. Now, with all that said in mind, I'm not going to give away anything else about the film. I really want you guys to check this one out. It has lots of great twists and turns in it. I tried to keep this one as much spoiler free because it has such a well-written story, in my opinion. Both David and Craig do a great job as a team writing this behemoth of a film. It runs a little longer, but I feel like it was almost warranted, because there was things to the story that they added that I feel like they really they needed that extra time to touch base and shed some light on that subject, more than just kind of glance over it and just say, oh, this is because of this, or that happened because of that, and move on. No, they give you reasons and lots of interesting dialogue as well to back up all of the pretty solid performances as well. Now, on to the three things that I love my movies to meet. Audio is crisp, cool, and clean, as I like to say. There is not a moment where you don't have a problem understanding what the characters are saying. Even with the Doctor, who speaks in a very old school, eloquent type tongue, he is definitely not what you would say a modern day linguist. He is very old fashioned in his ways. So is the mother. Even Victoria is old fashioned in her ways. Leonard is stuck in kind of a grown up, but he kind of has some moments of not really being the smartest. He's not dumb by any means, but he is very easy manipulated, and he goes along with things very, very easily. And he is essentially a puppet to the Doctor in a lot of ways. So it's very interesting how the audio works out. So I'm going to give it an A on that end. But now on to the dialogue. The dialogue is written very cool. I really like the old school touch that they added on with the modern language. It gave it a little more class, I feel, as far as a horror film would go. It didn't feel sleazy or gimmicky, like I said earlier, or just a horror movie just trying to cash in on trying to be a horror movie. No, this was very solidly written. It has a lot of very deep meanings with a lot of the dialogue, and it really does a fantastic job with that. So I'm going to give it an A+ on that end. Now on to the editing. The editing is fine. I feel like there is no errors to really complain about at all. There's no continuity errors due to editing. There is no weird jump cuts that make no sense. It keeps a nice forward, steady momentum along with that. Never really feels like it hiccups because of the editing as well. It just seems like it was a real good passion piece that both David and Craig worked on, and I really, really liked this. This is by far my favorite out of the three films I've reviewed out of David's filmography. I will be doing Demon Fighter, probably not this next week, but the week after I will be getting to that one. I'm really excited to check that one out because I'm curious to see what he has to add to his repertoire. I also did the Evil That Lives Down the Street, and Love in Quarantine was the first one I did for them. Now with all that, I'm going to come on to my final score of 1 through 5. I'm going to give this thing a solid 4 out of 5. It could have been a little bit better, but I really feel like this one has a lot of potential. It really has a lot of love, and you can tell that they cared when they made this film, and I really can appreciate that. And I hope a lot of you go out there and check this out. It's for free to watch on Tubi. I believe it's also free on I can't remember their independent film channel. They also have stuff on for YouTube. But I know for sure it is available for free on Tubi, along with all of the of David's other films. All right, guys, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm gonna be back with you either tomorrow or Tuesday with yet another review. I'm gonna try to do 4 reviews next week, even though I'm trying to only do a movie every other day. I'm gonna be doing either a double feature or at least 2 back-to-back days next week, just to kind of get caught up. But anyways, I love all your faces, and as always, peace.